Good morning, everybody. It says this hangout is on the air, so I'm going to assume that it is. So if you can hear me and see me, it would be good to know. Those of you in the chat, it looks like, well, our group is slowly expanding. We have hello, Rick. We have Rick in the house, and Bob, and Larry, and Chris. Hello, everybody. And somebody let me know in the chat you can hear and see, and we'll rock and roll. I was hoping that Bill was going to show up since he was actually at Live the Dream also. We're going to start to review Live the Dream and what went on there. Maybe not everything that went on there, but some of the stuff. Larry says he can see me. Cool. And hear me. Cool. All right. Well, let's rock and roll then. I have begun to distill my notes from Live the Dream. I'm going to go to a screen share. Anybody want to pop over here? And last time I did a screen share, the PowerPoint went away like a third of the way through the presentation, and I have no clue why that happened. So, Chris, you want to come over? Or Larry, somebody, anybody? Who's up for being on the air today? Let me grab you, Chris. Get someone over here who can holler at me if things are going south. Because the frustrating thing about the review we did the other day of the Millionaire Messenger is that I have no clue why the PowerPoint went away a third of the way into the presentation. I don't think that I hit any wrong buttons. So, well, it's always possible, but so good. Here we go. So, Chris, hey, you still have your webcam working. Okay, Bob. So I'm going to go to a screen share. Here we go with the screen share and share the screen. And Chris, I'm just going to count on you to holler at me if you're not seeing my screen. So I'm going to assume and hope that you are seeing the screen now.
Yes.
Cool. Live the Dream 6 summary. First off, let me warn you. I tried to take good notes and go into detail. So the summary is really more than a summary, and it's going to take more than one day to do it. I can assure you that we're not going to do all of Live the Dream today. But first, let me just give you a flavor for the event. The VIP party, and I had a VIP ticket thanks to Larry Ryan. I owe you big time, buddy. But one of the things that happened in going, this was at Brian's house. Actually, this picture was taken at the VIP party. It wasn't at Brian's house, this picture, but it doesn't matter. At Brian's house, I actually got to spend some one-on-one time with Brian, and we chatted about several things, which I'm not going to discuss right now because they're not terribly relevant at this moment to the group. But nevertheless, it was an incredible opportunity to just spend some one-on-one time with this guy. And there's going to be things come out of it, I think. So here's just a few other pictures from the event. You can see myself and Michelle and Kate and the four guys up there, Mark, Justice, and Adam, and then another picture with Mark, and of course, just a picture of the stage. Got to shake hands with and say hi to Terry and Felicia, and there was Bert down there, and there's another picture of the party, and the king of attraction marketing, so was really got to talk to a lot of people and spend a fair amount of time with them. So that was, of course, some of the highlights. So let's carry on into the presentations. Major announcements. MLSP sites. If you were on the webinar last night, Brian discussed this last night as well. MLSP is about to launch MLSP hosted WordPress blogs. And I know that you were on, I know you saw it last night, Chris, because I saw a comment from you about you can't wait. So if you are an MLSP member in the not too distant future, you can have your own customized blog up and running in, arguably, they claim 2 or 3 clicks, you can have your own blog up. It's hosted on MLSP. It is a WordPress blog. They have multiple themes to choose from and multiple plugins that are going to be available as needed. They haven't given us a complete list of plugins yet, but I have to believe that everything is there. And they've mentioned things like social sharing and Facebook and pretty links and etc. So the beta version of MLSP sites is supposed to be released this month to the attendees of Live the Dream, and we'll see in a minute. They also are pre-selling Live the Dream 7 right now, and I have a suspicion. Last year with Funnelizer, if you bought a ticket, pre-bought your ticket to Live the Dream 6, you also got Funnelizer. They haven't said this, but I'm suspecting that maybe anyone who pre-buys Live the Dream 7 might also get the beta release of MLSP sites as well. I don't know that though. So as of right now, the official advertisement is it's only going to be released to the attendees of this Live the Dream. And if you log into MLSP right now, you can see a short, that's about 3-minute video by Jim Finale, and it's sort of explaining what MLSP sites is all about. So that's a pretty interesting and exciting development. Another announcement, there's a private mastermind retreat. I believe the final price was just under $8,000. It's in April, and they're planning on having 2 or 3 of these retreats per year. So the next one after the one in April has not been announced, but they are now going to be commissionable. They are commissionable, and they're high ticket items. So obviously, and quite honestly, I don't have a picture of, nor do I remember what the commission structure is, but it starts at L0, or rather L1. It starts at L1 at I think 10%, and goes up to L6 at 40%, I believe it was. So these things you can make a fair amount of money on if someone who is beneath you in MLSP goes to one of the retreats. You make a nice commission. They're also planning a new elite membership level that'll be, it's been hinted that it's going to be $300 a month. It'll be above, obviously above mastery. And what the new membership level is going to bring is a far more intense coaching program to get you started. Details to be announced. That's really basically all I know about it. If you go out to MLSP site right now, you'll see that Live the Dream 7 is being pre-sold. Right now, the price is $199 for general admission, $599 for VIP, both with a $100 back at enrollment. So if you show up at the event, you can get a general admission ticket right now. You pay $199 right now, and you get $100 back, so it only costs you $99 to get in. LTD 7 is August 13th and 14th. And oops, that's a misprint. Both prices go up $100 at some unannounced time in the future. So at some point it'll be $299 for the general admission ticket and $699 for VIP, I guess. Okay, so let's start into the presentations. The first presenter on Saturday morning was Kate McShay, and she made the comment that she struggled in the beginning, and the biggest reason she struggled was that her state of belief was not aligned. She changed her state, she says, and sponsored 95 people in 1 month into MLSP, which that's a pretty awesome number. So she talked about how to go from 4 steps to 6 figures, and she called it the not so sexy 4 steps to 6 figures. And her 4 steps were: step 1, uncover your ideal prospect. Step 2, pick your foolproof offer and capture page. Step 3, drive traffic to your capture page and offer. And step 4, the 6-figure follow-up. So she went into detail into each one of these 6 steps. So step 1, uncover your ideal prospect. And she spent a fair amount of time emphasizing the need to really hone in on who your ideal customer is, your avatar, and uncovering what she called their BHAP, their big, hairy, audacious problem. What is it that they're struggling with? What are they having a problem with? And really hone in on what's their bio. And what she meant by that is, how old are they? Where do they live? What do they like to do? What's their situation? And uncovering as much information as you can about them as a person, so that you can target them in your advertising. And she talked about doing ongoing research to uncover phrases, vocabulary, etc., that they might be using, and figuring out where they hang out. What do they like to do? And perhaps using Facebook Insights, for example, to try to understand more about what your ideal customer is doing, and then uncovering the common questions that they might have that you can answer and perhaps have a solution for. She emphasized in the beginning to picking one offer and running with it, either self-created or perhaps an affiliate offer. If you're new to the business, then it's an affiliate offer probably from MLSP. It's one of the campaigns. And does it solve your customer's problem? So she emphasized again picking one capture page and one offer, and not being spread too thin in the beginning, and just emphasizing that. And there are presently something like 40 campaigns to choose from back there. So staying focused, one method of advertising, one campaign, one capture page, and then driving traffic, emailing your list daily and providing them with valuable content. Her formula is Q plus C plus C, question plus content plus close, and sprinkling in offers so that you're emailing your list valuable content. And again, the 80-20, or if you like the 90-10 rule, 80 to 90% of what you're emailing your list is content, and you're sprinkling in 10 or 20% offers to your list, and waking up to opportunity every day. So the follow-up then must follow up consistently and completely, and responding to all comments, questions, likes, reposts, etc., and then following people back. If you're doing video, they subscribe to your channel, etc. So very heavy emphasis on making sure that you follow up with people. And that was basically the distillation of her talk. That's about as, let me back up for a minute. That's about as many notes as that I could take as fast as I could write. And let me come off the screen share for a moment and look. Let me end the show, come off the screen share for a minute. So I should be off the screen share. And who else is out here? We got 7 people. No, Bill didn't come over. Is there anyone here? Who's here that was at Live the Dream? Whitman, I think you were there, weren't you? So is there anyone else over there that wants to come on over and add anything to what I've said before I move on to Bill and Michelle Pescasolido's talk? I'm waiting for a response in the chat. Anybody? Jason, were you there? Whitman. I am not seeing anybody in the chat. Chris, I assume you're still hearing me. Okay, there we go. We got a Chat Whitman, no. Okay, I didn't think so. Okay, that's it then. Nobody else who was there is here, so we can't comment. Have anybody else comment? So let me go back to the screen share and come back onto the PowerPoint. And Chris, assuming again you can see my screen and hear me.
Yes.
We'll move on to Bill and Michelle Pescasolido. The title of their talk was Sell More on Facebook Without Fear of Getting Shut Down. So, Michelle, selling on Facebook involves three things: building an audience, establishing a know, like, and trust factor, and displaying passion in your marketplace. Michelle, interestingly enough, Kate had made the comment that you didn't necessarily have to have a fan page. You could do Facebook from your personal profile. Carefully, Michelle emphasized needing a fan page, and for two reasons. One, of course, is that as we all know, doing you have to be very careful if you're doing any kind of marketing or selling from your personal profile. It is possible to get shut down. It can be done. People do it, but you can't do any advertising without having a fan page or a business page. So you might as well have one. So Michelle emphasized creating a fan page and IDing your perfect customer. Once again, going through the whole business of defining in detail who your perfect customer is, understanding what websites they might be visiting, what magazines they might read, what authors they might listen to, knowing as much as you can about your ideal customer, and then running a likes campaign. She runs a likes campaign continuously. And so from your likes campaign, you're building your own audience. So again, the likes ad is constantly running. She never quits the likes ad. And then targeting the people that like your page, which avoids the issue of putting out advertising to cold traffic. Because if you're targeting people that already like your page, they're less likely to flag your ads as spam or something they don't want to see. So she talked about creating the know, like, and trust factor, and she emphasized that Facebook cares about the user experience. So creating post-page engagement ads, she's always got one of those running, and posting 3 to 5 times per day. And once again, the 90-10 rule: 90% value, 10% selling something, and responding to all comments, all messages, and all posts. And she made I don't know if it was her or Bill that made the observation that look at PBS as an example. And she meant by PBS, she really did mean the public broadcasting system. It's almost always free, but a couple days of the year they run a fundraiser. And people don't mind the fundraiser because they get so much free content otherwise. And she made the same comment about Facebook. If you put out tons of good free value, then people aren't going to be upset if you occasionally put an offer in front of them or ask them to buy something. And of course, if you don't ask people to buy something, you'll never sell anything. So the secret to selling is to sell. It has to be done. So that was her big push on Facebook, running page post engagement ads. So, and you're targeting your fans and putting your page posts in front of your fans. So the two-step process is building your fan base and then targeting your fans with page post engagement ads. And she has both kinds of ads running all the time. Content. Creating the know, like, and trust factor, again, continuing on with Bill and Michelle, means putting value in the marketplace. And she addressed the issue of where does somebody new find content? Well, how about the morning wake-up calls on MLSP? How about the Tuesday training webinars? How about the Wednesday night webinars? How about Live the Dream? So she made the obvious point that there's tons of value. A lot of times, a lot of people that are new to this business say, well, I don't know what to write about. What am I supposed to blog about? And she made the point that content is easy. There's valuable content all over the place. Just get on any morning on the wake-up call and write about what you heard. So you can do a blog every day based on the morning wake-up call. Bill, remember, 7 touches. Generally, somebody has to see something as many as 7 times before they make a purchase decision. So just because someone sees your thing once, they frequently bounce, they may never come back. And it's not because there wasn't value there, it's because attention spans are short. So, and especially on the internet, people have very short attention spans. He suggested that you really spend a lot of time analyzing your avatar and write down 10 to 15 problems or questions that your avatar may have, and then answer those. And that's again where your valuable content comes from. Is your fan page violating Facebook terms? Suggested. I started to do this yesterday. I've never used my web of trust, mywatt.com. So I will admit personally to being unfamiliar with mywatt.com. I started to look at it yesterday and I didn't get finished. So I promise that in the next couple of days, I will know more about mywatt.com. And if anybody there knows about it, wants to tell us about it, feel free. My web of trust ranks URLs, whether or not they're trustworthy sources or not. And Michelle again pointed out on your fan page, no get-rich-quick schemes, no deceptive claims, no MLM, and be careful with affiliate marketing. And even as I think we all know, or at least I've certainly heard, there are some MLSP links that have been flagged as not trustworthy. It's people that complain. And again, if you shoot MLSP links out and shoot them out too often to too many people, especially with cold advertising, somebody can flag the link. Why am I getting this advertising? This is spam. I don't want to see it. And that can cause the links to be, in my web of trust, flagged as not necessarily trustworthy. Best to use pretty links. If you have a website and you have pretty links installed, use a pretty link, create a pretty link, and use those rather than using the MLSP links directly. She also emphasized to have a good privacy policy for everything you do, and don't make any money claims. And she doesn't use tabs anymore. I got to tell you that I either blanked out at this point, or it's a little unclear to me why she's not using the tabs at all. But that would probably deserve a little more investigation on my part. I'm not sure why she's not using them. I do know that I used tabs a couple years ago, and while I still have several tabs there, I don't use them anymore. They're sort of irrelevant. They're still hanging out there, but I don't drive anybody to them. So maybe it's best to just take them down. I don't know. And more suggestions, again from Michelle. External landing pages must function in all browsers. So if you're driving traffic to a landing page, make sure that it functions in all browsers. Now, if you're driving traffic to an MLSP page, then I think that we can assume that MLSP is taking care of that for us. Be careful about IP addresses. If you're logging onto Facebook from various places, that could raise a flag. So Facebook is watching you. Be careful. She made a comment about being careful not to scale too fast. And she also emphasized if you have old ads that have been disapproved in the ads manager, then it's best to go in and delete them. And I've never done that. I've got some old ads out there that have been disapproved. So I'm going to go ahead and disapprove or delete all my old disapproved ads. And Facebook has this new thing called the relevancy score. And if you're doing advertising, after you've sent your ad out, it puts up a relevancy score, and it's Facebook's measure of how relevant your ad was to the audience you sent it to. And she emphasized to watch your relevancy score and make sure it stays above 6. An ideal relevancy score is 10. And if you don't know where to find the relevancy score, you'll find it in your ads manager. And if anyone needs a little more training on this or where to find it, she did put up a screen and show where to find it. I don't have that screen in front of me. I didn't do that for this presentation today, but I certainly can do it. I know where to find it. So again, it's a question. If you have any question about it, I can do a little training on that as well. And then watch your feedback from people that see your ads. If you get any negative comments or feedback, that's a flag to you that maybe you need to be careful because Facebook is watching. And once again, she emphasized Facebook cares about the customer experience. So it's possible to do a lot of advertising on Facebook and to do a really good job, but you really do have to follow the Facebook guidelines. That's the bottom line. And create passion in your marketplace. What are you passionate about and how are you helping people? Once again, she circled back to identifying your perfect customer and how you're going to help them and making sure that your advertising is targeted to your perfect customer and it's answering the questions that they have and solving the problems that they have. No get-rich-quick schemes, no make money from home, no MLM, keep it clean. Brian and Norbert spent a few minutes, just a few, and one of the comments they made was the books you don't read can't help you. And that comment, I believe, comes from Jim Rohn, but it's sort of an emphasis on the fact that we all need to be doing personal development every day, all the time. And I know that I'm certainly doing that. I'm buying new books all the time now and reading new books. And as I go on through some of the books that I've read, like last week, I did a book review and I did a little presentation for you on the Millionaire Messenger, and I'm going to keep doing those kinds of things. And he had us make a list of 3 objectives to take home, 3 things we wanted to accomplish while we were there that we weren't going to leave there without filling those 3 objectives. I made my list. I'm not going to share that with you right now. There's no particular reason to. They're personal, but for each and every person that was there, it was a suggestion that we make a list, check it twice, and make sure that we spent the time and the money to get there, make sure that we get what we came to get. Doug Firebaugh came on next. And I got to tell you, Doug is an incredible inspiration. And I'm going to admit that I took very few notes during Doug's presentation. I was sort of mesmerized by Doug himself walking across the stage. Now, Bill Moore filmed everything. And he's got a film of Doug Firebaugh. And maybe if we talk to him real nice, he'll share it with us. Because I would very, very much recommend watching Doug Firebaugh. He's an incredible guy. But his big thing was make a decision today, and make a total transformation in yourself. It's all about application and integration, application of what you're learning and integrating it into your daily method of operation. And I'm going to comment a few things about that myself. Larry Hochman had put up a post this morning that said that basically we're 72 hours out of Live the Dream. If you haven't started to implement it by now, the things you learned at Live the Dream, it's ancient history. It's too late. So, we've heard this before. Within 72 hours of hearing something, cash the check. Get your notebook out, start making videos, start making blog posts, start teaching what you've learned. And the truth of the matter is, while I haven't given you every detail of what Kate McShay said or what Bill and Michelle said, I mean, I couldn't possibly write down word for word. I can only highlight what they said. I've highlighted enough about what each of them said that anyone on this webinar today could make a blog post from either one of those presentations, and perhaps 2 or 3 blog posts from either one of those presentations. Kate McShay's The 4 Not So Sexy Steps to to six figures. So just what I'm telling you today, you could use as content and create material from it. And then again, if you go talk to Bill Moore, really nice, maybe he'll share his videos with you and you can even hear the original presentations themselves. I was hoping Bill was going to be here today and jump in with me and help me out a little bit. So Doug Firebaugh, continuing with Doug, the number one reason people join is because they want to feel better about themselves. And he took that concept pretty deep. So, if you ask somebody why they're doing what they're doing, the first superficial level of answer you might get is, well, I need more money. I want to spend time with the kids. I want to go on vacation. I want to be free, whatever that means. But if you really distill it down to the fundamentals, what they want is they want to feel better about themselves. Why do they want more money? So that they can support their family better. And by supporting their family better, they'll feel good about themselves. They'll feel more like a man or a woman or the breadwinner or it's easy for you to say, breadwinner, or the provider. Or they'll feel better about themselves because their kids are getting better clothes or having a better experience or getting a better vacation. So it all boils down to helping people feel better about themselves. And he emphasized that now you have to picture this guy walking across the stage, sweating profusely from the energy he was exuding, admonishing the audience to go nuclear, to have energy. That's the way God intended you to be, and to infuse energy into everything you do, to be passionate about it, and to help people to feel better about themselves. And that probably summarizes 3 40-minute talks as best I can summarize them from notes that I was able to take in the time I was able to write in between being mesmerized sometimes by the speakers. Chris, I'm assuming you can see me now.
Yes.
And you can still hear me. That's all good. Does anyone out there have any questions that they would like? Oh, thanks, Whitman. Friday night live broadcast from LTD6 was great. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I tell you, when the concept first came up and we were going to try to do that, I had some serious reservations about it. But as we moved through the day, I got more and more comfortable with the whole concept, and I think I hope it turned out well for everybody and that was on it. Anyhow, so does anybody have any questions or comments or anything? And if not, we'll close down in a few minutes here, a couple of minutes. I'm waiting to see the chat to see if there's any comments. And we'll close down. We'll close down lunch with Len today and be back on Tuesday. Now, as we move through. The next person that came up and talked was Rob Four. I'll try to summarize a little bit about what Rob Four had to say. Then we had Mark Harbert. I've got a lot of notes from Rob from Rob Harbert. Then we had a review panel, and I'll try to summarize a couple of the things that went on there. And Bert Bledsoe gave a talk. And Lisa Grossman talked, and I mean, so there's Diane Hockman. So there's a tremendous number of talks, and I will try. I'm going to take the word "try" out of that sentence. On the next couple lunch with Lens, barring any major developments, I will summarize as best I can some of those other talks, the high points, and what went on. So I hope you find this useful. I would like to know either in the comments or in the lunch with Len group if this is useful for you. Because if it's not useful, I don't want to do it. It's something else. I hope it's useful. Pardon me?
It's very useful.
All right, thank you, Chris. So that's really it for today. And again, I'm going to go hit up on Bill Moore because he's got videos, and hopefully all his videos turned on. And there's a couple of the speakers that, like Doug Firebaugh, it'd be really fun to have access to the video of Doug Firebaugh and be able to see him in person rather than listen to me try to summarize the Fireball himself. All right, thanks, Larry. Thanks, Rick. So that's it for today. That's all I have. I'll be back on Tuesday with more summary from Live the Dream. And again, if there's any questions about anything we've covered, if you'd like me to try to get more detail, especially things like the relevancy score on Facebook advertising, et cetera, anything like that that sort of escapes you don't know about, just put a question up in the Lunch with Len group, and I'll go research it and we'll do a little training on it. So, alrighty. So that's it. Thank you, everybody. You guys have a great weekend, guys and girls, and we'll see you Tuesday. I'm going to stop the broadcast. Thanks, Bob. Bye for now.